So back from the trip. It's Friday today. I got back Thursday at around 3 in the afternoon. Could have been back Wednesday night by 10. I was taking my time a little bit coming south from Matagami. Started taking my time a bit. When I stopped, I was stopping longer, and then I decided to stay in Sturgeon Falls and watch the hockey game. And I drove home yesterday in the sun. About 5 hours, I guess, from Sturgeon. 4 hours, 5 hours to the Collingwood area. But anyway, just looking. I have to clean the bike up, but look, it's pretty funny. That's as dirty as it got. Anyway, I did some numbers. I did 4,518 kilometers. That's what my Speedo says. I don't know how accurate, but pretty close. And when I drove in from the Mirage to the end, Kenapasku or whatever, when I drove, that's the longest you have to go with gas. And it works out to, I have 625 kilometers, like total trip, in and out, into the end, all the way back to the Mirage. And I drove around Brisay, but only for a kilometer or two, just buzzed around. So the number I got is 625 kilometer. And I left the Mirage that morning, and I had 17 and a half in my tank, and I had 3 liters in a jug, and I had 10 liters in my ATV type, that red thing there. And in the silver little tank is 1.5 liter. And I always had that in my bag just in case. I never used it until coming back, but I just always want to have that because it would probably give me 30 or 40 kilometers maybe, if I ran out, whatever. So anyway, when I left to go up, I left with 17 and a half, 3, 10, and 1.5. So I had 32 liters of fuel. And I drove in to the end, and I came back late that night. First thing in the morning, I filled up, and I had 9 liters left from my trip. So I had 32 liters going in, and I come back with 23 liters. No, when I come back, I had 9 liters. So I used 23 liters of fuel to go in, all the way in and back for this bike. Maybe that's one advantage of the smaller engine. It's a little bit more efficient. Possibly, I'm not sure. But I was surprised I had that much because that 9 liters I had left was good for another 250 kilometers. 240, whatever. By doing the math, just saying, like, that's what I come back with. So I still had my little jug, my 1.5, and it was still 7.5 liters in the tank. Anyway, the numbers are right. That's what I ended up going in and out and used 23 liters of fuel. And on average, that's 27 kilometers per liter. On average, during that part, 27 kilometers per liter. And I was getting 3.7 liters per 100 on that trip, on that drive in and out, that section. That's what I used anyway in this bike. If anybody's thinking about how much fuel they need. I guess it depends. If you're beating her, if you're really, giving her more going in, you're burning more gas. I went in like as, not flying, but I went in at a decent clip whenever I could. I just kept going because I had that night on my mind how the temperature was really going to go down. And it was pretty chilly that day. And I knew it was going to get worse that night. And I was thinking, man, I really want to get back to the Mirage, I guess I would have stayed in Brisay in that little cabin. I mean, and I know when I come back and I went up into that cabin thing to look out, it actually felt warm when I went in, but I was just out of the wind. But I don't know what that would have been overnight at -8 and the wind was blowing. I don't know. The wind was always blowing up there. It was blowing at least 20 and gusting, more than that. So, yeah, fun trip. I basically could have done that easy in 6 days, 6 total days. I'm not saying, like drive in and drive out is always the thing to do. But like if you only had a week, just saying the road I did, the trip I did, Trans-Taiga plus up to Radisson and then south, and I wasn't hurrying. The fastest I was going maybe was 110 and hardly at all, usually 100 type of thing. So you could easily cut back more time by flying up them roads. And the road from Matagami, Yeah, sorry, from Matagami up to 381, the road is really good. But it's after that. When you're going north, you got to watch for them potholes. If you hit them friggin' potholes, and some of them you can't see, like, yeah, if you ever hit one on your bike, I'm sure it's gonna bend your wheel, and probably you're gonna wipe out. I don't know, but man, oh man, they creep up, and the faster you go, the faster they would creep up on you. But you know, if you're the driver, you can cut back on times like that, and you're probably a better driver driving in the dirt road. You probably do it a little quicker. So use that as a baseline type of thing. If you're wondering if you just want to drive up and drive back, gives you a little bit of a baseline. And I wasn't going super fast, so type of thing. I think the last hour coming out of the Trans-Taiga, I was doing 90 all the way out. The road got really good, but the 200 at the 200 kilometer mark coming out, for almost 100 kilometers, they were grading the road, and it was like 4 inches of right across the road, just like dirt. Like for me, I find that a little hard because you makes the bike wobbly. You know what I mean? And I don't have all the experience in the world. But I kept at it, and then I just felt like I lost some time there. I was almost getting out, and then I came around the turn of the grader, and they did a large piece of road. But when I come down to the last 100 kilometers, it just got good, and I just flew out. Like, I mean, for me, like going 90, you could be going faster there, you know, like a lot of people probably would. There's some good straight stretches there and stuff, but for me, that was pretty good going out at 90. Because you still had the odd spot, you know, you had to watch for. Anyway, but yeah. Had a little screen thing in the front here just to protect my headlight. Yeah, the bike's hardly dirty, really. But time to do a little maintenance. Fun trip, even if you're blowing up and coming right back. Like you still have fun. You still see so much. You know, if you only had a full week, you can do it, and yeah, it'd be better to have more, and you can go see some of the dams and sites to see up there. But if you only had a week, I'm just saying you can do that trip. You know, most of you probably drive faster than me, so type of thing. But yeah, great to be home, but hard to believe I was up there just a few days ago. Like, it's kind of weird, but anyway. Yep, great trip. Highly recommend it.